Can men and women be friends? Hell no. No, not really. The answer to that is kind of twofold. It's yes and no, right? So let's get right into it. So I was posed the question, can men and women be friends? I believe so in a lot of cases, but then in some cases I don't think so. So here's my opinion on that, right? It all depends on the maturity, number one, of the two people. It all depends on the respect of those two people. And it all depends on the understanding of those two people, right? So, and I think the way the question was asked, I think it meant not just two friends or situations like that. I'm guessing or I'm assuming, which I don't like to do, that the question came from a place of, can a married man be friends with a single woman or a married woman, and vice versa? Can a married woman be friends with a single man or married man? So again, my answer to that is yes and no. And I'll explain what I mean by that, okay? So I've seen both sides of that spectrum, right? I've seen where men and women can be friends. I've seen where it start off where you try to be friends and it's always something else there, right? So here's the deal on that. Now, there's a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different situations where that's possible. And again, there are some where it's not possible, right? Because for number one, the way we're created, we are created for each other. We're created to be attracted to each other. We're created to, what's the word? We're created to join together. We're created to procreate. If I'm not attracted to you, and this doesn't mean that everybody I meet I'm supposed to procreate with, obviously, you know what I'm saying? That's not where I'm going with this, but just from a man and woman standpoint, just from the way we are made, just from the way we are created, you know what I'm saying? And our sole purpose for each other, like when God said, let us make man in our image, when God made Adam and then God saw that Adam was lonely or whatever the situation was, and he said that he was going to make a woman for him to be his helpmeet, right? So we're created that way. Okay, so the way it's wired is just a natural situation, right? So what I say by some can and some can't is that most time we are attracted to people that are kind of like-minded, or we're attracted to beautiful people, whether it's they're aesthetically beautiful or their energy or their whole being is kind of beautiful in a way, if that makes sense, right? So we're attracted to people, and just because we form unions with other people or a certain person, that doesn't take that away from it. And I've said this in another one of my videos as to why I don't cheat, or why some men don't cheat or some women don't cheat. And that's because we make conscious decisions not to, right? We make conscious decisions not to put ourselves in those situations, because the way we are wired, the way we're created is like, just because I marry a woman doesn't mean she'll never ever be attracted to another man. Now she'll make up in her mind, or whatever her being, what she'll make up in her being, that that's not who I am. I'm not going to do this. Yeah, I'll look at this man, and sometimes I'll even entertain this man to a certain extent, and the same vice versa for men, right? But I won't ever put myself in that situation where I'll allow myself to fall for this person, or to get too deep into something with this person, and you know, people can be friends, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody that I meet is not attracted to me in that way, and everybody I meet, I'm not attracted to in that way. You know what I'm saying? But that's not to say that they're not. You see what I'm saying? So, and I've been in situations, you know, I talk about women in situations, you know, in some of my other videos and stuff. So it may come over or it may come off as me being a womanizer, but I'm actually not, right? And that'll be another video for another time. But the whole scenario to that is that everybody has different agendas, right? My agenda might not be the same as yours. Mine might be pure. Mine may not be pure. You know what I'm saying? I might see a woman and be like, ooh, she fine. I want to see what that's like. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying in general, because that's not, anyway, that's just in general. And that woman might be like, oh, he's a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? And he's good. He's easy to talk to, or he's a fun person, or whatever the situation may be. But he ain't my dude. He ain't my husband. He ain't, you see what I'm saying? So that in itself is what I'm saying about being in certain situations, or putting yourself in certain situations, or why not, you know, men and women can be friends. I believe it's possible, but I believe there has to be some boundaries in those relationships. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes situations like that start out and they're okay, and then the boundaries are not set, or the boundaries may be set and then people start to cross the boundaries, and then you don't do anything about it right then because, oh, she cool, she just whatever, you know, or he's cool, he just got out of the way a couple times, or whatever the situation may be, right? But if you don't nip that in the bud, then it'll be this time, and then the next time, and then you know what I'm saying? And then who's to say that one time he or she may cross the line, and then you may be going through something, and life is life, man. I mean, everybody can say what they'll do and wouldn't do, but it may just be that time when you're the most vulnerable, or it may just be that time when you're on another level, you know, your dude or your chick that made you mad, or they ain't doing like they used to do, you know what I'm saying? They holding out, or they not into it like they used to be, you know what I'm saying? Because that whole scenario plays a part too, because like, you know what I'm saying? You get in relationships and in the beginning, everything is the best, you know what I'm saying? She does this, he does that. Oh, it's all gravy, it's good, right? And then after a while, life takes over. People working, people got issues, people got stress, you know what I'm saying? And they ain't really feeling like that all the time when you feeling like that. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean. So I just think that, like I said, it could work if there are boundaries set. It could work if people stay within those boundaries. I lost my train of thought. Like I say, you got to set boundaries, and you got to stick to those boundaries, and you got to make sure that you don't allow yourself to get in situations that is not conducive to either one of you guys at the time. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, we were taught to be friends with boys and girls, playing together and being friends and being respectful and all of that kind of stuff. But when you grow up and you get into puberty and you start to realize that, oh, this right here is a whole different, you know what I'm saying? This right here hit different, you know what I'm saying? Now granted, you could be friends with somebody from childhood and go through all of that and still be just friends with that person. You know what I'm saying? That's a different situation in itself. You know what I'm saying? But as far as grown folks meeting new people and becoming friends, again, that's very much possible too. But then you really have to look deeper into that situation as to why, why is this person trying to be my friend, or why is this, and sometimes you just click with people, because like I said, we hook up, or we meet people that's super cool, that's like super like-minded. They're not overpowering, they're not overbearing, they cool to talk to, they make you laugh, but that in itself can turn into something as well if you don't pay close attention to that and watch for all of the signs and make sure that it's platonic, as opposed to, because like I said before, people are just going to be attracted to people, and it's not always just going to be on, oh, that's sister so and so, she go to my church, or that's my friend from work, and you know what I'm saying, and he's just a really cool guy, but guess what? He's still a man, and she's still a woman, and we're still built the way we're built. We're still wired the way we're wired. It's just, it just is what it is. Everybody is different, and I get that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't into, oh, I gotta have sex all the time, or I gotta have this all the time, or this is the only thing I think about in life. And everybody's not built that way, but trust and believe that every so often, even if, you know what I'm saying, even if it's just that, every so often, somebody gonna get that urge to do that urge. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just life. It's just the way that we're made. You know what I'm saying? And I can't say that enough. But again, it just comes down to your mental and physical fortitude. You have to be the type of person that say, you know what? That's my friend. I'm not even going to do that. I'm not even going to step out of line with that. Of course she's beautiful. Of course he's handsome. Of course she's fine. Of course he's fine. And oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? But you have to make sure you say, well, you know what? That's my friend. And if nothing else, I have to have what's the word? There's this old thing, right, about girls not dating. Okay, say a female and a male is dating, and they break up, or their boyfriend and girlfriend, or husband and wife, whatever, and they break up. All of the female friends, and it's a thing for males too. It's a thing for men and women, right? Oh, I could never date him or her because they dated so and so. That's off limits, right? But in the human side of that, what makes that so different? That's another man, just like that's another woman, right? And had you never met the person they dated, then what would be the difference, right? And that's on the human side of it. Don't get me wrong. I agree with making a decision, and I can't come up with this word. I know the word. Basically, you have to have enough respect, you know what I'm saying, to say, you know what, I'm just not going to do that, right? It's like for me, right? How can I put this? Say I have a friend, and you introduce me to this guy, right? And then come to find out, this guy is actually your dude. Y'all not married, but y'all, whatever, that's your dude, you his woman, whatever. Now you didn't introduce me to him. I done shook his hand, and I'm like, what's up? You know, at that point in my mind, and at that point in my way of thinking, you off limits, right? But you might feel like, well, what's the problem? What's the problem? You don't really know him. He don't really know you. Yeah, but you didn't introduce me to this dude. Now, I'm going to be less of a man and this is just my way of looking at it or thinking of it. So now I'm less of a man because now I feel like I'm going behind his back. Whether I know this dude or whether I have an allegiance to this dude or not, it's still a man, it's just something that like women say, oh, he been with my homegirl, or whatever, even if it was just a kicking it situation. So that's off limits, right? But again, take that whole situation or whole scenario out of play, and you're attracted to that person. The only reason you fight that attraction or you don't do that is because of because of your morals and your I don't know why I can't think of this word. You know what I'm saying? What you stand on, your principles and stuff like that, right? This whole narrative of, well, once I get me a man, I'm not going to do this. Or once I get me a woman, I'm not going to do that. Now, biblically, that's the way it's supposed to be. A man's supposed to leave his mom and daddy and cling to his woman. It's supposed to be them two. They're supposed to become one. And that happens, right? But at the same time, that still doesn't take away from that other side, from that human side of it. Because that's like the thing that we fight against, especially as Christians. That's the thing we fight against. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be in the world but not of the world, right? One of them type of situations. You're supposed to see what's going on but not be a part of what's going on. You're supposed to it's like all of these things you have to fight against. You have to fight against gluttony. You have to fight against over drinking, because wine is good in small amounts, but too much wine makes you drunk. So that's the sin, being drunk, right? The Bible didn't say not to drink wine. It said don't get drunk, right? Even though we're Christians, and even though we have the word as a guide, and even though we try to live, you know what I'm saying, by the word, we're human beings as well. You see what I'm saying? And so just because I become a Christian or just because I get married doesn't take those other thoughts and feelings and emotions. And I mean, because everybody has, quote unquote, a certain type, right? Now, again, I'm a whole different breed. That's a whole nother story for another time. But everybody have their own type, right? Now, say you get married to your type, right? How many more of that type do you think that's in the world or that you're going to come across eventually? So you see where I'm going with that? It's like just because, you know what I'm saying? And just because you got married, or just because you got saved, or just because you're a Christian, doesn't mean that that's going to go away. That's just, it's just not life, right? And it's not an excuse, because again, you have to make up in your mind and make a stand that I'm just not going to do this. Now, is it going to be easy? It ain't going to be. Some days it's going to be easy. Some days it ain't going to be easy, right? You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I don't think it's ever easy, but I think some days are just not as bad as other days. And that's in life in general, right? So, so can men and women be friends? Yes. Can men and women be friends? No. So it's kind of a loaded question, right? Because it just is what it is. Attraction is attraction. I believe that we're attracted to each other because of the sense and the urge for procreation and the way we were built and wired and everything like that, right? And everything else is a kind of a byproduct of that. Attraction is still attraction. You're attracted to who you're attracted to. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't go away just because now I've taken this vow to, you know what I'm saying, love, honor, and cherish and obey and all this other stuff that we do. Or I've taken a vow with God to say, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to be a Christian and I'm going to live right and I'm going to try to do right by people. But know that Jesus was the only person in the world or in the history of the world that was ever perfect. So We're gonna make mistakes. It's just like you can vow to stop cussing, or you can vow to stop having road rage, or you can vow to stop lying, and all it takes is for that one situation, and then you right back at it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot more to this, but like I said, I believe it's possible, but I think you just have to set some boundaries. I hope I covered everything. I don't want to go on and on and on about it. But yeah, that was a question. Can men and women be friends? And I believe that yes, they can, and I believe that in certain situations, maybe they shouldn't be. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I upload new videos. And I'll get at you the next time. Peace. Y'all be easy.